Hey Jimmy and everyone at Blades Ramble. Jonny here from the Board Breakdown podcast. I'm here to give you an update on Middlesbrough's season so far. A bit of apathy setting in. We are not in a position where we should be. Middlesbrough could and should be a lot more comfortable in where they are in the championship table so far this season. Realistically, we should be fourth or fifth, but Borough find themselves seventh just due to themselves throwing games away. Defensive error after defensive error after defensive error. Going forward, we're fantastic. We're scintillating. We create plenty of chances like you've probably seen Middlesbrough play this season. But at the other side of the pitch, too many individual errors. Middlesbrough are top of the table for individual errors, leading to a goal. And that leads us to be seventh. On the face value of it, you go, wow, that is some really good bit of business. To bring in Illan Jr., I think is a really exciting signing. Morgan Whittaker's been, well, only 12 months ago was touted on a 15, 20 million pound move, and you get him for 5 million, rising to 7. Iheanacho has good experience in the championship and also played for Man City many years ago as well. And then you look at Ryan Giles, who had his most successful season at Borough, come back, and then Mark Travers, an excellent goalkeeper at Bournemouth, come and join us as well towards the end of the season. So on that side of things, you go, yeah, good bit of business. On the flip side of it, you see Middlesbrough lack in really key positions. Middlesbrough now have 3 centre-backs that are fit. Even though we are light from the centre-back position and also in that right-back position where we only have Luke Ayling fit, people have left us in good positions too. Isaiah Jones going for 5 million to Luton, which I think was a good deal for the club. Emmanuel Latilaf went for a club record fee at over £22 million. But overall, an okay window, but we still needed depth in really key areas. Like I mentioned on that centre-back role, that right-back role, and you could have probably added in centre defensive midfield as well. There is a lot of tension building for Michael Carrick at the moment because you can look at all of the underlying data and see Middlesbrough being second position in expected goal difference, but from expected point side of things, it should be fourth or fifth. But we're seventh, and that has come from so many individual errors, like I alluded to earlier. We're top of the table for that. That's where Borough fans get frustrated because we are doing the same errors over and over again, and that is insanity. And I think apathy is slowly starting to set in because these things just aren't getting fixed. And how much can you really blame a manager for that? I think sometimes you can if they are recurring. Therefore, Middlesbrough are frustrated with Carrick right now just because of how things are. Look, he still has the highest win percentage rate for any Borough manager, still most goals per game than any other Borough manager since World War II. There's a lot to love about his side, but defensively it has to improve. And I think if we don't get playoffs, people will start to naturally call for his head, given that Middlesbrough are really like a 5th or 6th team. You look at all the type of metrics that you want from a finance side of things, revenue, on the pitch sales, all this kind of thing, everything. If you pretty much put everything together, Middlesbrough are about 5th or 6th team in the championship, but 7th, so it's underperformance. Therefore, playoffs are pretty much the minimum that Middlesbrough really need to achieve this season. So if it doesn't do that, I'm very intrigued to see how Borough shape up in the summer. I think we'll go to that 4-2-3-1. I can't see us changing it. We've only really changed it once or twice to move to that 3 at the back in really big games. But we played that 4-2-3-1 against yourselves earlier in the season. We had some success. Therefore, I think we'll stick with that as well. And I can't really see us changing it just due to the options that we have. Look, I would have said Ben Doak, but he's currently out injured with a thigh injury for 5 weeks. So that is a big miss for us. But we still have a load of attacking options, right? You've got Delano Bergzorg, who's been fantastic on that left-hand side. Illan Jr. might come in. Morgan Whittaker is an option who's still finding his feet. Tommy Conway, really good as well. I really enjoy Finn Azaz, but he's been off the boil as of late. But I think there's one player who I would probably pick out, I think, who is deserving to be picked out. And I think that's Hayden Hackney recently because of his turnaround performances. Aidan Morris really helps Hayden Hackney because it gives him the freedom to play. But once he does have that freedom, Hackney, he really drives the ball forward. He gets himself in good positions and he gets Middlesbrough up the pitch really well. So he's one player who I think everyone should really look out for. Look at our right back position. Luke Ayling got bad against Sunderland and is slowly starting to get found out. And I think with Morgan Whittaker coming in, who is not as strong defensively, I think he gets exposed. I think he does get exposed quite a lot. I was going to say, if he might get exposed, he probably will get exposed on that right hand side. And also on the left hand side too, Ryan Giles, who's not really known for his defensive output. I still think he's relatively okay, but I know teams will want to target that just based on how Middlesbrough play. Not just individually, but as a group, we are a bit of a weak link defensively because of our own doing and output. So there's a few things to go on that side of things. I think both teams will look to nullify each other. And looking at Sheffield United this season, that long ball into the channels where you target the last game, I still think you would look to try and do a very similar thing. You did create a couple of chances at the Riverside and got in behind, and we are to be got at. And how do I see Middlesbrough playing? I think we'll try and dominate the centre of the park. We'll look to try and break through the lines. Very similar to the last game. I think the first goal is super important in this game. I'm just very intrigued by Sheffield United, to be honest. I think they're an interesting side to watch because on one side of things, you are clinical when you need to be, and then secondly, you are short. You can defend really well, like Chris Wilder teams tend to do so. How I see a weakness in the last game was just how Middlesbrough were occupying that middle a lot better than what Sheffield United were. And when you do dominate that centre of the pitch, you tend to have a lot of freedom, especially on that transition. And I think that could be a position where Middlesbrough can occupy it quite a lot. Look, I think you're a very strong team. You have some fantastic quality all around the pitch. So there's no real glaring weaknesses for Sheffield United. But in the game and how systems work and on both sides of things, I just think that centre of the park would be one position to watch. So score prediction, like I alluded to earlier, I think it'll be a 1-goal game, and I have to opt with my own team. Unfortunately, I've got to. All right, I can't just say Sheffield United win, surely not. So I'm going to go a 1-0 Middlesbrough win, but it'll be very, very tight. But if Sheffield United do score, I think it will come from a Borough mistake. Just search for the Borough Breakdown podcast on your podcast provider, YouTube, and just search for Borough Breakdown on all the social media platforms, and you'll be able to find us there. For my predictions at the end of the season, I think Sheffield United get automatic promotion with Leeds.
Go, Jonny, go, 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 go!
And for Borough, we're our own downfall. But I still think we'll get playoffs. I think we'll finish 6th. I said this at the start of the season, and I still think it now. So we'll finish 6th. We'll probably play Burnley in the semi-final, hopefully beat them, and then probably get beat off Sunderland in the playoff final. Guys, thank you so much for having me on, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you.